What's up guys, it's Mega giving you another deck for Link Evolution. This time we're on a deck request and that is a Spiral deck. This deck's of course my opinion at the end of the day and it's completely cool if you guys disagree with any of the cards that are shown in this video. Spirals were one of the best decks a couple of years ago, like ruling the meta. Obviously now the newer cards like Dangers, a whole lot of new links. We don't have any of that, so we're running cards from like 2 years ago with an updated ban list, so this deck is really difficult to make, and when you see it you're gonna find we've run so many hand traps it's untrue, just because outside the main Spiral combo like set cards you don't really need any like majority of the cards. Like terrorforming is limited to 1 in this game, if not this deck would be more consistent, but apart from that I decided to run a lot of hand traps just because you had so much potential like to negate your opponent, while you got like if you got two Spiral cards you could pretty much do your whole combo. So it's like your deck is there to negate your opponent until you get the combo sorted. And so yeah, with that guys, if you're struggling to make this deck or any other deck we've shown so far, check out the card hub. For not only does it tell you if a card is in the game, it will tell you if it's in a card pack, challenge mode, campaign, you name it, it'll tell you where to find the cards. And with that, let's get into the video. Starting us off guys is the 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Springs. If you could have 3 copies of this guy I would, because she's one of the best hand traps in this game, and I'd take out the Ghost Ogre if I was going to run 3, but we can't, we can only run 2, and I wanted a lot of hand traps, so there's a lot of hand traps. There's like a good like 12 or something hand traps in this deck, it's stupid. But if your opponent activates a card from the deck, activates an effect that sends a card from the deck to the hand, special summons from the deck, sends a card from the deck to the grave, Ash Blossom shuts it down, which shuts down a lot of decks actually, so Ash Blossom definitely 2 of. 3 copies of Effect Veiler. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from the hand to the grave. To target 1 face up effect monster on the field, you negate effect. Pretty much there to stop cards that activate upon being summoned, such as like Snow Fairy, Fairy Tail Snow, Orphis Scorpio, Terratop. Effect Veiler shuts them down. 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I was actually thinking maybe we could run 3 of this and drop the Ghost Ogre, because Ghost Bell, she's near enough the opposite to Ash Blossom. So if your opponent adds a card from the graveyard to their hand, deck or extra deck, special summons a monster from the graveyard, banishes a card from the grave, Ghost Bell shuts it down. It's great against Thunder Dragons that try and banish their cards, especially from the graveyard. Cards that like to recycle the graveyard, like say like the Speed Warriors did last time, that used like cards such as speed recovery. Yeah, Ghost Bell shuts that down. She shuts down a lot of stuff. And then another hand trap, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. When your opponent activates a card in the field, card effect in the field, you can discard this card and destroy the card. It doesn't negate the effect, it only destroys. You need to bear that in mind with Ghost Ogre. Now we're on to the Spiral cards themselves. Running 1 copy of Spiral Gear Drone. It's limited to 1 guys. If this card is normal special summoned, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, which is vital in a Spiral deck, which is can't unless you unless you're going to guess the entire time. And you get to place those cards in any order you wish. You can also tribute this card to target a Spiral monster. It gains 500 attack, which is kind of niche. And also you can banish this card and another Spiral to summon a Spiral Super Agent that's in your graveyard. Or no, also you can add the Spiral Super Agent back to your hand. Sorry, it's not a special summon. The 1 copy of Spiral Gear Last Resort. This card is a dead card near enough if you draw it. You mainly want to search this card towards the end of your combo when you're going for the sleeper play. We'll get to sleeper in a bit. But you can target 1 Spiral card you control, equip it from the hand or field. When this monster is equipped to a card or a Spiral card, it cannot be destroyed in battle or by card effects, and also it can't be targeted with card effects. So that's a very good good effect as well. Then we're going to Spiral Master Planner. Once per turn you can add a Spiral mission, which pretty much lets us get like free summon. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, so if you go, so basically the main thing is you try and summon her with Double Helix's effect, then you link them away, then her effect's going to trigger, something like that, something simple like that. You get to add Spiral Resort, which is our field spell, and a Spiral monster from our deck to our hand, so that's a really good effect. Spiral Quick Fix. When this card is normal special summoned, you get out of Spiral Gear, so you can add Drone or Last Resort to your hand, or the magic card Spiral Gear Big Red to your hand upon being summoned. And this isn't a once per turn effect. You can, if say you summon Quick Fix, link it away into like say Link Rebo, you've got the Big Red, you play Big Red, you bring it back, search out Drone. You can just keep going. See what I mean? You can do like many things. And if this card is in your graveyard and you control a Spiral Super Agent, you can discard one card and special summon this card from the graveyard, but it's banished if it leaves the field again. So great, it comes back, another free summon going to like those big link plays. Spiral Sleeper, you really want to play this with like Spiral Last Resort. So Spiral Sleeper is kind of like the like the dad of the deck. So it cannot be normal special summon. It can only be summoned from your hand by banishing 3 Spiral cards in the grave. And once per turn, during either's turn, you can do this during your opponent's turn as well. You can target 1 Spiral card you control, destroy it, and destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. So the combo is with this and Last Resort, you equip Last Resort to Sleeper. You play Sleeper's as effect and target itself. So you're going to say, I'm going to destroy the Sleeper. Then you destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. Because of Last Resort, Sleeper can't be destroyed by a card effect. That includes its own effect. So it's like, you're near enough, because of Last Resort, you just nuke 2 cards in your opponent's field each turn. So Sleeper, really good. And if this card is on the field, it's destroyed by battle or by a card effect, sent to the grave. You destroy as many possible cards. You destroy all cards you control as possible. And if you do, you get special and Spiral Super Agent from your hand, deck, or grave. So you really don't want to destroy Sleeper. It's like you play this, you're near enough going to win anyway. But that's the main deal with Sleeper. And the 3 copies of Spiral Super Agent. If this card is in your hand, you can clear the top card of your opponent's deck, monster, spell, or trap. If you guess right, you get special from this guy, and if this card is special by the effect of a Spiral card that includes its own effect, you can target 1 spell trap you can poke controls and destroy it, which is really, really nice. But this is why cards like Gear Drone are so like clutch in this deck, because if you know what, like for instance, if you've got Drone and Super Agent, you play the Drone, boom, you know what your opponent's going to have. Like at top of there, like you rearrange the top 3 cards. So with Super Agent, you can't guess wrong unless you really mispress. But that's why it's really good. Unless you literally like, if you just have this card in your hand, you just have to guess and hope for the best. So that's why knowing is really important. And also it's a free summon as well if you get the effect off. 3 copies of Spiral Tough. When this card is on the field or in the graveyard, it's classed as a Spiral Super Agent. So it's classed as this guy. Once per turn, you get to target 1 card on the field. And then you get to guess the top card of your opponent's deck, monster, spell, or trap. If you guess right, the card you targeted is destroyed. So again, you need to know what your opponent is running. So say for instance, you've got Spiral Tough and you've got Spiral Super Agent. You play the Spiral Tough's effect, hopefully destroy a card in your opponent's field. If you guess wrong, doesn't matter. You know what it's going to be, so you can special summon the agent for free. Stuff like that. And that's it for the monsters, guys. On to the spells. You're running Foolish Burial. You run this, guys, because you really want to send like Quick Fix to the grave, Drone to the grave, or even one of your like Spiral Super Agents, because then that way with the Big Red. And even with this, say you go on these spiral missions or cards in the grave, you're basically going to summon them back from the grave. So stuff like that. 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. You're sending this card to the grave because you want to send your spiral missions to the graveyard because they have graveyard effects. Or if you really want, you can spend Spiral Resort to the graveyard because we do have a field spell that mimics this card's effect. Basically, you really want to send the spiral missions because then you get a free summon. Monster Reborn, free summon again. Special summon a Spiral from the graveyard. Go for big links, or nick 1 monster your opponent controls. 1 for 1, basically to get access to Quick Fix and or Drone. So you play 1 for 1. You special summon the Quick Fix. Quick Fix's effect searches out Drone. Drone's effect will then trigger. You then you normal summon the Drone. Its effect's gonna trigger. You check the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. You have 2 you have 2 Spiral monsters immediately. You can go into double helix straight away just based off 1 magic card. Like that's how beast 1 for 1 is. Is this Sibo Space? I may have butchered that card name, but basically you banish one field spell from your graveyard. This card becomes that field spell. So because Spiral Resort is limited to 1, this card basically replaces the Spiral Resort for a turn, which is really handy because if you play Spiral Resort, your opponent MSTs it or Twin Twitters it, you're kind of screwed. So you play this, kind of replacing that Spiral Resort, so you can search out a Spiral card. 1 copy of Rhoda, Reinforcement of the Army. You get to add a level 4 or lower warrior from your hand, from your deck to your hand. So search out a Super Agent, search out the Tough, whatever you're missing. If you really want to search out a Super Agent, you get a free summon if you guess right, stuff like that. 1 copy of Soul Charge. It ain't banned in this game yet, so we're keeping it. You have to give up your battle phase when you activate this card, but you get to special summon as many monsters as you want from your graveyard, and you pay 1,000 life points for each monster you bring back. There is that cost, but if you give up your battle phase to set up on your opponent and go big, it's worth it. Like for instance, you set up, you do all your search combo and bring out the sleeper. I think that's justified missing your battle phase for a turn. 2 copies of Spiral Gear Big Red. I say because it's Spiral Gear, it's searchable with Quick Fix. This card's basically a monster reborn for a Spiral monster, and you basically equip it. It can't be destroyed in battle as well, so it gives it a little bit of protection, which is kind of good. But yeah, it is just another monster reborn born as well. So and also casts a Spiral, so you can banish it for Sleeper. 1 copy of Spiral Mission Assault. After you activate this card, after 3 turns, it's destroyed. Basically, if a Spiral monster's effect destroys one of your opponent's card, or a Spiral monster destroys a monster by battle, once per turn you get a draw free card, which is pretty nice in itself. And also you can banish this card from your grave to special summon a Spiral monster from your hand. So that's what I'm saying. Foolish Burial Goods, you just discard this, you get a free summon from your hand. Really good. 1 copy of Spiral Result. It's limited to 1, guys, otherwise we may well run 1 or 2 more. Your opponent cannot target other Spiral cards with card effects, so that gives all your Spirals that you have protection, which really comes in handy. Basically once per turn you get to add a Spiral monster from the deck to your hand. Searches out any card you want, which is great. It does have a end phase maintenance, so you have to shuffle 1 monster in your graveyard back to your deck, or you have to destroy this card. But I'm not gonna lie, with all the searching and all the things that Spirals do, you easily get monsters in the graveyard. And also with hand traps, it just recycles our hand traps back into our decks. The 1 copy of Terrorforming. If this card was at 3, this deck would be super reliable. It would be terrifying because you want to get access to Resort as quickly as you can, either by Master Plan or just by searching it Resort itself. But this card basically is there to search out that Resort. Going into some more traps, guys. We're rolling a few more hand traps. 3 copies of Evenly Matched is another hand trap. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can discard. You can activate this card, and your opponent banishes cards so they have the same number you control. And if you control no cards, you get to activate this card from your hand. So if you activate this card from your hand, it's classed as a 1 card. Your opponent has to banish their board until they're left with 1 card. So yeah, it does come in handy, and again it's also a decent hand trap. And then we're running the 3 copies of Infinite Pertinence. It's basically an effect veil on steroids, guys. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, you negate its effect for the turn. And if you have no cards in your hand, also if no cards on the field, you get to activate this card from your hand. Another hand trap. So between this, Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, and Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, sorry, you have like what, 10 negates in this whole deck just from your hand. So it's like really great. Can you imagine if you had Ash Blossom for 3? Whew, this deck would be fantastic. So see what I mean by all the hand traps. Like apart from the main like Spiral monsters, you don't really need any other cards. Like they're just there to like support it, make it go. So the rest of they're just to negate basically. And then 2 copies of Spiral Mission Rescue. Once per turn, you get to target a Spiral monster in your graveyard. Return it back to your hand. You can do this during either player's turn. And also has another graveyard effect where you can banish it from your grave to basically special summon a Spiral monster from your graveyard. So that monster reborn if it's in the graveyard. So again, great with Foolish Burial Goods, and it's searchable with Spiral Master Plan. Then we're going on. That's it for the deck, guys. On to the extra deck. Running the one copy of number 41. I really go into this card, guys. And being honest, if I'm being honest, I might drop it for Borrow Sword, but yeah, decided to run it and try it out. Once per turn, during your opponent's standby phase, you detach one execution from this card. If you cannot just if you can't, you got to destroy this card. Basically, it's got another cost. This tap position card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target this card. Card with target effects, which is great. Now, this card is face up in defense mode. Change all face up monsters on the field to defense. So, and also negate the activations of monsters that were in defense mode. So basically shuts down your opponent's life for stalling. Only reason you draw this card. And again, another Exceed. I don't really I barely summon, but she is actually very good. Sirloin Princess Sprite. You get to detach one Exceed material. Activate the top card of your deck. If it's a spell or trap, add it to your hand. Otherwise, if it's a monster, send it to the grave. So it's actually a way to try and search out Resort or any one of our spells really, because they're all useful. Because if it's a monster, majority of the time you really want your monsters in the graveyard anyway for sleeper. But if it's a hand trap, doesn't really matter that too much. That's the only reason you really run her. Going on to the links, we're running one copy of Borrow Load, Absolute Beast. Guys, I may want to try and put in Borrow Sword, because Borrow Sword's also Beast. 3 effect monsters. Neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster in the field. It loses 500 attack, which is great. Your opponent cannot negate that activation, so they're going to get weaker no matter what. And at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks opponent's monster, you can basically summon it to your side of the field next to this monster's link. And again, you can attack with it, but send it to the graveyard during the during the end phase of the next turn. So it's going to be on your field during their turn. It's going to go to the graveyard second the opponent ends their turn, which is kind of great. Then one copy of Decode Talker, very genetic link, guys, really great. Gains 500 time for each monster that points to its link, which is great. And also it has an effect. If your opponent activates a card effect that targets a card you control, you contribute one of the monsters this card points to and negate it. So for instance, if you have Resort on the field, your opponent tries to MST it, tries to Twin Twister it, you could attribute a monster Decode Talker points to and negate that activation to keep Resort on the field. The one copy of Nightmare Cerberus. We're running a lot of Nightmare cards, guys. If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, then target one special monster your opponent controls that's in their main monster zone, not in the extra monster zone. Please bear that in mind. You get to destroy it. If this card was co-linked when you activate this effect, you get to draw another card. Absolute Beast, just to try and go around tricky monsters. One copy of Nightmare Griffin. If this card is linked summoned, you get discard one card, then target one spell trap in your grave, set to your side of the field. It's another way to get back Resort if this card, if Resort goes to the grave, pretty much. And if this card was co-linked when you activate this effect, you get to draw another card again with all that with all the drawing. One copy of Nightmare Mermaid. You don't really go into this because you need to sacrifice one of your nightmares to play it. I might get rid of this card actually and put in Borrow Sword. You have many things you can get rid of, guys. Really. 2 copies of Nightmare Phoenix. If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card and target one spell trap your opponent controls, more back row removal, destroy it, and if this card was co-linked when you activate this effect, you get to draw an extra card. Actually, it might just do it, guys. Take out Nightmare Mermaid, bring in Borrow Sword. 2 copies of Nightmare Unicorn. If this card is link summoned, discard another card. You can target one card in the field, return it to the deck, so it's like a compulse, really useful. If this card was link summoned when you activate, was co-linked when you activate this effect, you get to draw another card. This card does have another effect, guys, where if it's co-linked to a where if any Nightmare monster is co-linked, you get to draw an additional card during your draw phase, which is really helpful. 1 copy of Link Karibo. Spiral Gear Drone and Spiral Quick Fix are level 1s, guys. Effect Veil at level 1. Link Karibo is great to go into. You contribute this little guy when your opponent tries to attack, and their attack point is reduced to 0 until the end phase. And also you contribute a level 1 monster in the field and special on this card from the graveyard, which really comes in handy. The main one of the beasts in this deck, guys, Sayusha Skuldread. Skuldread is an absolute animal for OTKs. So this card gains effects based on how many materials you used. If you use 2 monsters or more, if a monster's normal special summon next to this card's links, it gains an extra 300 attack and defense. If you use 3 or more, you can special summon a monster from your hand. Great. And if you did 4 or more, you can get to draw 4 cards. Then you get to place 3 of them at the bottom of the put 3 of them back at the bottom of the deck. Basically, you get to add an extra card. But you bring out Skuldread, then you can bring out the Keeper. Keeper's going to get more attack points. Say you've got a big red in your hand, bring out Spiral Super Agent Summit. That's going to get more attack points. So say you did that combo, you've got like a 2800 beater, a 3100 beater, then another 2000 beater. You near enough go for game straight away with just that. Skuldread really comes in handy. And then the 2 copies of Spiral Double Helix. So you need 2 Spiral monsters to summon this card. This card's name becomes Spiral Super Agent while it's in the field or grave. So if you use Quick Fix, you can use Quick Fix effect to bring it back. This is what I mean. It's so easy to go into Link 4. So really try and find a way to. So really get rid of Nightmare Mermaid. Most probably bring in Barrel Sword. Once per turn while this card's on the field, you get to declare one. So you get to guess the top card of your opponent's deck, monster, spell, or trap. Reveal it. If you guess right, you get special summon a Spiral from your a Spiral monster from your deck or graveyard to a card to where this card points to, or you get to add it to your hand. So again, searching. A great combo is literally going to, like, say, drone Quick Fix, or I don't know, any two spirals, Tough and Super Agent. Link them away, go into spirals, go into Double Helix, play Double Helix's effect to bring out the Master Planner. Master Planner's effect's going to activate. Let's use add the Resort, and then you could add Sleeper if you want, because you've got your 3 links in your graveyard, your 3 spirals in your grave. Play the Resort, add search the Last Resort, use special summon the Sleeper, use Last Resort on the Sleeper. You have your Sleeper played there, all because of Double Helix searching out these cards. It's absolutely amazing, guys. And that is it for the deck. Sorry I kind of rambled on a bit, but spirals are actually very, very strong. If you get a good, I say we have a lot of protection and hand traps to protect our deck. If you had terrorforming at 3, guys, and Ash Blossom at 3, this deck would be a hell of a lot more stronger. It's can't because of the ban list, so unfortunately we can't do that. So I do hope this deck helps, guys. If you does, hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel grow, and I get to see if you like this deck or not. And also, if you don't, means I've got to make some changes to it, don't it? Really. The next deck someone actually requested for me to make would be a Dino deck. However, I have been saying, and we're going to be continuing the U-Boys. So we've done Yuri, and we've done Yugo. So I will do either a Phantom Knight deck or a Odd Eyes deck, whichever one you guys really prefer me to do first. Put it down below if you want. Then we'll do the Dino deck because someone has requested a Dino deck. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoy the replays that are to follow. That's it from me. Take care wherever you are in the world. Have a great day or night. Goodbye.